I am what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you see, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe, and you can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description of this stream. So I'm a little late. I apologize for being so late, ladies and gentlemen. I had several other things to do. I was trying to get them done. Catch up on some sleep that I didn't get today. So I'm here now to talk to you guys. Talk to you guys. I have a little reflux problem, of course. I want to talk to you guys about Restore the Snyderverse. DC is in big trouble. There is zero excitement for DC, while there's a lot of excitement for what Zack Snyder is bringing to the table on Netflix. We'll talk more about that, and we'll also talk about Free Palestine. We'll talk about why Jill Stein is a good, appropriate choice for Americans, particularly those on the left, but also those who may be Republican and for different reasons. We'll go into that, as well as we'll also talk a bit about why I'm boycotting watching the Olympics, why I advise you guys to boycott uh, watching the Olympics. Also, I want to talk a little bit about uh, other boycott, sanctioning, and divestment things that have actually been working out quite well. We'll talk a little bit more also about several different things about the candidates for November elections and their policies. And we'll also talk a little bit about, of course, what is happening in Gaza, what's happening in the West Bank, what's happening in Israel, and what's happening in Lebanon, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Russia, what's happening with the Ukraine-Russia war, and several other things. We're going to talk all about this and some more in this stream. Okay. This stream is brought to you by LIVE Products. Live now. We're live now. And we have a range of different flavors of drinks right now, though available flavors I have on hand with me right now in storage. I have uh, grapefruit, and I have Morbi. Soon to get sorrow tonight. I don't have all the flavors, but the range of flavors that we have as of now for LIV products are grapefruit, Morbi, sorrow, fruit punch, and orange. We sometimes will have soursop, and we sometimes will have guava. So that's the range of products you will see for LIVE products. We also have cleaning products. From your left to your right, you're looking at, from your left to your right, you're looking at dishwashing liquid. Then you have fabric softener, you have disinfectant, and you also have liquid detergent. LIVE, live now, we're live now. So let's get into first, we're going to talk a little bit more first about Restore the Snyderverse. So Jai, who is one of the superhero nerds, he had an incredible reaction to seeing Rebel Moon, the director's cut trailer, and he just pretty much lost his mind. I'm gonna let you guys hear it. Let's get into it. Okay. Yeah. After seeing the director's cut trailer for Rebel Moon, director's cuts 1 and 2, I'm not gonna lie, pure fire. I saw it and I lost my mind as well. In fact, for about 2 or 3 days, all I was saying was "Yeehaw!" and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, now. So, shout outs to Rebel Moon and the Rebel Moon community. shout out to Zack Snyder. Um, just it looks like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be lit. There's gonna be a lot more story. Just a lot more of everything. You know what I'm saying? Let's go into something else here, real quick. Real quick. Oh man, I tell you the hype. Zack Snyder already bring the hype. You know what I mean? This is Netflix Nigeria. It says prepare to witness Zack Snyder's True Vision Rebel Moon Part 1 Director's Cut begins August 2nd. I just want to play it for you guys one more time. I want to play it for you guys because, see, how I see it's like this, right? The hype for this film is going to be crazy, right? Um, let's just play it. Let's just play it, all right? Let's just play it. Hold up. Let's start it over. Go dig my grave. Both wide and deep. Both wide and deep. Place a marble stone. Place a marble stone. At my head and feet. And on my breast. And on my grave. A small white dove. A small white dove. To tell this world. To tell this world. That I died for love. That I died for love. Oh, man, look how crazy that is. At least I die on the side of honor. Is there still such a thing? This is so crazy right here. Their wrath will be my vengeance. Yo, this go hard. You see the collie, when the collie comes out, she like frees the collie, and the collie gets up. See, we didn't see all of that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see all of that. You know, this film, I always felt like the film was missing stuff. Yeah. Yo. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, peace to everybody out there. Those of you watching, don't forget to smash the like button. Again, you can donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. I'm just telling you guys that just for the sake of telling you guys that. You know what to do already. Center House. Wow, I didn't see this at first. Apparently he saw the movie or something, but they borrowed from Henry Cavill's Mission Impossible where he flecked out his arms. Pretty dope. Of course, Wolverine has to pull out his claws, so. Know what I'm saying? Zack Snyder's the blueprint, they say. I mean, I can't say they're wrong. You know what I mean? All right. I got a lot to talk about, but we're going to take it one step at a time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take it one step at a time. One of the things we have about us is time, right? Get down to it. I need to get down to it. For some reason, this thing reset. I don't know why I did that. Which was not cool, but all right, let me see if I can get back to where we were. Come on. I'm just trying to get back to where I was. All right, we're gonna get there in a couple seconds. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Come on now. Yeah. Okay, we here now. We here now. I just reached where we were supposed to be. So don't you worry, people. I got you. I got y'all. I got y'all. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay. All right. So I pretty much just passed what I was supposed to be. I just want to just make sure I reach my timestamp. Woo-wee. Here we go. Here we go. You ready, y'all? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Because here we come. Here we come, ladies and gentlemen. Here we come. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, here we come. All right, so yeah. We just passed where we were supposed to be. Hold on a second now. I just want to check one thing. Yeah, okay. So here's the last one right here. Okay. Leonidas says in 8 days, Rebel Moon director's cuts. Yo, look at these. Man. So we saw this scene. I mean, that ain't no big thing, but see this where he blows the guy's head off? We never saw that. We never saw this. This is when I believe this is the resistance when Titus General Titus is talking about the story. I believe this is it here. Atticus Noble, y'all. This is when the regent Belisarius, that's him there, I believe. Yeah. All right, let's roll back up here. Let's roll back up here. Now this is a little crazy. And somebody got wind of this. And you know what? I never understood why they said Zack Snyder was bad for DC. I never got it. Now some people say because he was doing more adult content than for kids, but I still don't get it, man. Adults buy toys too. So this was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Joker. This is Mafex did this. Check this stuff out, y'all. Check this stuff out, y'all. Blow it up a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. What is that doing in San Diego Comic-Con, y'all? What is Mafex? Why is Mafex putting out this doll? Why? Because he knows there's a demand for it. And remember, this is a Mafex doll, so that means this is for like kids. You know what I'm saying? But don't buy it. You see, what a lot of people don't understand is there's an adult audience that will buy these paraphernalia. That will buy these things. Look, Joker with Batman's head right here. Mafex came out in San Diego Comic-Con with this. Joker with the gun. With all the medals, the police medals. Look how detailed this thing is. Why is Mafex still selling this merchandise? Why is this merchandise still being sold? Ask yourself that question. Right? This is being sold over things like any character in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I don't even see a whole bunch of Mafex Peacemaker toys. What's selling? What's really selling? Zack Snyder's stuff. Why do they keep on doing re-releases of BVS, Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's Justice League? They do it as a triplet set. Why do they keep on? That's their major money-making stuff. It's that, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, and Lord of the Rings setup. Warner Brothers makes most of its money off of. Not even Joker, not even the Batman. That ain't making most of the money. That's not the biggest money seller. It's this stuff. I mean, the writing's on the wall, y'all. There's another one where, anyway, we might see it. We might see it. I don't know. I don't know if I have it bookmarked because I don't know how important I thought it was to be bookmarked. But it just proves the point that Zack Snyder, look at this. San Diego Comic-Con. What's the stuff selling in San Diego Comic-Con? What are they showcasing in San Diego Comic-Con? Huh? This. General Titus and Atticus Noble. Atticus Noble don't look so much like Atticus Noble. General Titus look like General Titus. The toys aren't the greatest toys in the world, but the point is, the action figures. The point is, who's gonna buy this? Y'all check out Atticus Noble's belt. That's crazy, man. Not quite like the actor, but you know, people gonna buy it. They're gonna buy it. All right. Here's another thing. Like Zack Snyder is so hot right now out here. Zack Snyder posted up. Please sign up here for an opportunity to join me as my guest for a special sneak peek at the first 2 episodes of Twilight of the Gods on Friday evening, August 2nd at Netflix. Tickets are limited and offered a first come, first served basis, and you can sign up online. Of course, people don't buy that out already. So this is Zack Snyder's sneak peek of Twilight of the Gods, August 2nd, 7:30 p.m. at Netflix. So freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Some people just getting spoiled. I'm not in the United States of America, so I can't. I just envy those guys. But it's cool. I'm gonna see it when it come out. I'll see it when it comes out. Now it's supposed to come out September the 19th. So some people are gonna see it before September 19th, which is really awesome. It's really awesome, man. Oh, I got more. We got more for y'all. Look at this shit. Stanley Ipkiss says, it's so weird that WB wanted to copy the MCU, which I can't. I just don't get it, but whatever. But they never listened to their fans, which Marvel gave their fans everything. And didn't even want to do their very own big, and didn't even want to do their very own big bad Thanos, Darkseid. They wouldn't have had to wait 20 movies to do it either. It's like WB only wanted to be like Marvel, bro. Which is stupid because Marvel wanted to be like DC. You know what I mean? Marvel was actually stealing stuff from DC. That's how much Marvel wanted to be like DC. Stanley Ipkiss speaks for all of us. The disappointment that one of us chose this pathway. So the pathway they've chose, they're going to have to lay their bet in it. And we're going to talk about that. Stanley Ipkiss again. WB just needs to admit that he does better when it's darker and taken seriously. You'll see from the numbers that the lighter tone superhero movies don't make as much money. There's obviously some exceptions, but DC makes the most money from being darker. Duh, bro. We know this. DC has a history of this. So he puts out the list of the highest grossing live action DC films. Let's have a look at it, okay? Shall we? So if you look, The Dark Knight. I mean, come on now. The number one highest grossing DC live action movie adjusted for inflation is The Dark Knight. I mean, how much more do you need to hear? The title even has dark in it. Second is The Dark Knight Rises. Okay? The two highest grossing DC movies adjusted for inflation are The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. How much more darker do you need to be? Right? Then they have Superman movie, which was way back in 1978. We're not talking contemporary film. This is a film in its time. It still stands the test of time to some degree. It's kind of unrealistic, but it kind of stands there. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Aquaman, another movie that's not really super dark. Okay, that made some money. Right below that, Joker, extremely dark film, right? For a comic book movie film. Batman 1989 has some humor, but it's a dark film. Batman v Superman, dark film. Wonder Woman, dark film. Even though it has a little humor and stuff in it, it's mostly a dark film. Okay. Suicide Squad 2016, dark film. It is funny. It has some funniness in it. Stuff. It has humor, but it's dark. Man of Steel, dark film. Right? Compared to Superman films. That's what they say. It's not a dark film, but I'm just saying. It's a serious film, right? Superman 2, okay, Superman 2 was not a dark film. It had comedy in it, okay? Batman Forever, lighter of the dark films. It's still dark, but yeah, it's a lighter of the dark film. Justice League 2017, That wasn't a dark film at all, and it's a piece of crap, and I don't really like it. The Batman, dark film. Batman Returns, dark film. Superman Returns, serious film, not much humor in it. Serious tone film, darker than, say, Superman 1978 and so on. So it's more of a serious film, but still at the same time, this film didn't make no money. Batman Begins, dark film. Batman and Robin, crap film, and not dark at all. Shazam, not dark at all. Black Adam, dark film, right? With some humor in it. Constantine, dark film. Road to Perdition, dark film. Green Lantern, comedy. The League, and by the way, just for the record, Constantine, Road to Perdition, Shazam, Batman Begins, Batman Returns, The Batman, Batman Forever, Superman 2, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, Batman, Joker, Aquaman, Superman the movie, Dark Knight Rises, and Dark Knight, they all made money. Now, Black Adam was a box office flop. Batman and Robin was a box office flop. Superman Returns was a box office flop. Just for the record, so the people know. Okay? Okay. Green Lantern was a box office flop. The Leader of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a box office flop, even though it was a dark film. The Flash was a box office flop. Superman 3, box office flop. Red, box office flop. Watchmen, box office flop. Birds of Prey, box office flop. V for Vendetta did good box office. It was not a box office flop. Wonder Woman 1984, box office flop. Red 2, box office flop. The Suicide Squad, box office flop. Catwoman, box office flop. Superman 4. By the way, Wonder Woman 84, light film. Birds of Prey, dark film, lots of humor, making it lighter. Compromise film. Watchmen, very dark film. Red, humorous film, some darkness in it. Superman 3, light film. The Flash, light film. League of Extraordinary, dark film. Green Lantern, light film. Okay, let's keep it moving. What they say is like, it was like the comic book. Okay, whatever. Superman 4, light film, flopped. Shazam 2, light film, flopped. Blue Beetle, light film, flopped. History of Violence, dark film, made money. The Spirit, dark film, made money. Supergirl, light film, flop. The Losers, I believe this also flopped. I'm not too sure. The Kitchen flopped, and Jonah Hex flopped, and Steel flopped. And The Steel was a light film. Jonah Hex, comedy. Jonah Hex was a dark film. The Kitchen was a dark film. The Losers was a comedy, sort of funny, slapstick kind of film. Like, sort of like, it kind of reminds you of those guys that did the Vegas heist with Brad Pitt and those guys. Anyway, I forgot what the name of it is. Something like that, The Losers. Even though they're a hired squad, kind of like the Suicide Squad. They're a hired squad that goes in to take care of things, okay? But the point is, the majority of films that made money and the majority of films that grossed the most amount of money, as you can see here, are dark films, okay? DC is a history of this, okay? Warner Brothers, Discovery, and previous administrations like Hamada and Jeff Johns and John Berg and even what's his name? The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They all tried to beat against that and try to throw humor into films that really didn't need the humor. They just needed more sincerity. They just needed the stakes. They chopped up the films. You know, the original way of the film was, if it was a hard R, they didn't go with a hard R because they wanted to sell things to kiddies. And as you guys know, toys get more expensive when you're doing it for adults. And yeah, kids can still have toys. Let's not get it twisted. But the kids need to watch these movies because these movies are still something that can be applicable to them with good parental supervision. The only thing, rated R movies, PG-13 movies, if you have parental supervision, the kid can go into the cinema and see the movie, and then you guys can discuss it. And it may even help the kid to develop even better. Okay? Now, I wouldn't have my children, for example, if I was a parent, watching, say, a rated R movie where I know there's nudity and there's sex in it, right? with respect to violence, maybe, but not necessarily nudity and sex. However, having said that, um, social media is filled with that stuff. You can't protect kids from those things anymore. So it's better you have the conversations with them now, so they can understand and plot their part now. I think that the old convention of MPAA ratings and you need to get to it so you can get more people to watch it with their families, that's a myth. Okay, when there's a demand for something, The Dark Knight Rises, these movies are hard PG-13. Hard PG-13. It should have been rated R, right? It would have gone even deeper and even further. Joker was a movie that was rated R, and it made a ton of money. And why Joker made a ton of money was because they didn't hold back on that movie, and also they kept it real. It had something. It had a storyline. It had a sort of, this is why the Joker is the way he is, even though we don't really have the full story. But it gave an interesting take on Joker. It's not comic book accurate, but it's an interesting take. The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins gives an interesting take on Batman. Kind of fills in some of the spaces which we didn't know how Batman became Batman, and it also gives its own take on a real world take on what a guy like that would actually look like if he existed in the real world. Batman v Superman gives you a comic book sort of centric, sort of real world take on Batman and Superman, which is really awesome, and throws in a Wonder Woman in there. So these movies, the reason they do so well is because they actually have substance. They actually have something they're saying. It's not just an action flick where everybody gets to kick up at a certain time. And, we have Phil in here and we kind of keep it fantasy real, but it's really the action that carries the movie. No, this is not the kind of movie it's not a Marvel cinematic ride. It's not even cinematic. It's not a theme park. It's not a theme park ride. Okay. We're not interested in theme park. Fast and Furious 9, theme park ride, right? Mission Impossible, theme park ride. You're really interested in the stunts. You're really interested in the action. Zach takes it much more. He does dramas, right? They're dramas. They're not Michael Bay exhibitions and blowing shit up, okay? You look at guys like gifted guys like Tim Burton. Tim Burton gives you a dark take, still able to infuse humor in it, but Tim Burton had that unique ability of really tapping into, the heart of a character. So he'll still give you a take that's kind of not comic book canon take, but it's an imaginative take that's really there and it's on the edge. Tim Burton will do something like that. So I really appreciated Tim Burton for his edginess and just the way how he did it. And he's not what's the word they like to talk about? I forgot what the word is. He's not edgy for the sake of being edgy. Tim Burton's gothic. He's edgy for the sake of the story. He's edgy. He pushes the limits on a story, and that's what makes Tim Burton so interesting to me. Now, I'm not going to watch Beetlejuice 2, but I'm just saying he's edgy, because he comes from the horror genre, which one of us keeps on pulling people from horror as well. I notice. He's able to push things a little further, and I like that about Tim Burton. Tim Burton was that kind of dude. And he really made a great Batman movie. Even Batman 1989 to this day, Jack Nicholson's performance and Michael Keaton's performance, fantastic. And I think it really gave Michael Keaton range and really boost his career. He was just a comedian, just a comic, and now he wasn't just doing comedy. He was doing drama. He was doing various nuance acting, which was really great. So, yeah, I again agree with Stanley Ipkiss here. I really do. All right, so gun cult with Superman DPs openly and nasty sympathize on the racist. Just have a glance at his profile for once. If you're surprised, neither am I. What kind of Superman they expected from Gunn? Okay, so I guess he's responding to a guy here. Oh. This is not bookmarked. Okay. So I'm not in bookmarks anymore. I don't know why it reset everything. I think because I came out of it or something. That sucks. So I have to go through everything again. Okay, all right, fine. Rebel Max said, Reynolds, Snyder, I love seeing the passion creators have going the extra mile to make their vision released. Well, Brian Reynolds seems to be always in character. Like he's a comic now. He's nonstop comedy. The way Zack Snyder envisioned it, the two directors' cut of Rebel Moon are coming to Netflix on August 2nd. Yes, sir. Every time I see WB and DC, I just see two things. David Zaslav is showing he's got no money to keep NBA, but wants to sue NBA for leaving. But he says in 2022, WB doesn't need them. James G makes dumb ideas, goes backwards in the DC logo, and CC looks like a rehashed crap. Wow. WB became a parody. What's going on? He's saying. And I gotta be real with you guys. And Jacob's a big, not just a Snyder fan, but he's a DC fan. The thing about this is this. DC is suffering from two things. One, they don't got no money because WB don't got no money. Their stock is very low. And two, they're suffering from a brain drain. There's no real ideas how to excite the fan base, how to get the fan base excited like Zack Snyder is able to do with his fan bases. And so as a result of that, where San Diego Comic-Con was supposed to be the place where, James Gunn stuff will be, shown and people get excited. They showed a DC logo, which was supposed to be this special thing. And, what's his name? I forgot what his name is. I can go to his Twitter page and pull it up. And that brought absolutely no excitement to anyone. And then on top of that, they avoided San Diego Con. So James Gunn didn't even try to go through San Diego Comic-Con to show anything with the Superman movie. So where you could use the outlets to get, that excitement, it's not there. Cinehouse, that's the name of it. And Cinehouse is showing that the downgrade is crazy. I'm going to try and get some audio here on this. So this is it here. That's it for DC. That's what DC Studios is going with. So they think by actually being an actual comic, that'll make things better, I guess. I don't know. The original DC intro. Which one do you guys think is better? This one? Superman breaking the chains? Or the introduction to all these different characters because, Justice League. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section. All right, so I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? See, Leonard is still doing the thing. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? That's about it right there. So, zero excitement, man. Creature Commandos came out as well, and it's like a rehash of Suicide Squad. Stuck in WB goes down when rejected by Comcast and the NBA. Comcast rejected it. So Comcast, of course, the chief executive officer, Brian Roberts of Comcast, he's not interested in Warner Bros. Discovery. If you're selling, I'm not buying, he said, which is crazy because that's Universal Pictures. So I wish Universal Pictures would pick this up, but we'll see. I don't know. I hope not because I hate with Disney to get it, but who knows? Kevin Feige didn't rule it out. Kevin Feige's like DC and Marvel. Maybe we'll see that one day, okay? Kind of sucks, though. Marvel be kicking ass, though. I'm not going to lie. Marvel be kicking ass. Let me see if there's anything else here to talk about. So, yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Okay. So, it's what it is. It is what it is. DC's down the crapshoot, because once again, they chose, this is their decision, they chose to go this route. the Marvel route. And so far, it has not paid off for them, and it's going to destroy the company ultimately in the end. Let's get into Free Palestine. Let me start off with this. So this is the World Cup. Check this out. This was pretty dope.
And what do you think about the game?
I thought it was a good game. I thought in the beginning Israel was better, but now Mali is is destroying them, I think. Israel is not bad. Israel is not bad, but I think Mali is going to destroy them today. No, I'm just talking about football. I'm just talking about football.
Mali is the best, no politic here. Okay?
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Javier says this kid is a living legend. Now the kid, obviously, he's Brazilian, and the president of Brazil, he supports no genocide in Palestine. And Brazil, if you don't know, they have imposed sanctions on Israel, as you should know as well. Brazil is part of Brexit. Okay, anyway, not Brexit, BRICS, sorry, my bad, BRICS, not Brexit. Brexit is something else. So this was hilarious. He was laughing at them as he just moved on his way. I don't see, I'm telling y'all, I boycott watching the Olympics because I can't understand how you could have a country that's committing genocide and so many war crimes, participating in the Olympics and actually a member in the Olympics. Russia didn't do anything near the level of atrocities that the Israeli government and Israel has done. In fact, there was supposed to be 300 participants of Palestinians in the Olympics, and they killed off almost 200 and something of them. So they couldn't even make it. So what the fuck are they doing? Excuse my French, but what the hell are these people doing in there? And then they're attacking anyone who says anything about free Palestine. Look at this, the gall of these people. So they have leverage because they have people. In fact, the guy who actually designed the Olympics is a Jew, and we're going to talk about him too. The opening ceremony and the sacrilege and the blasphemy that they did against Christians. There's this particular guy, this particular Israeli guy as well. He has his roots in Israel. So we'll talk a little bit about that guy as well. And the reason I'm going to talk about these people is because, again, the atrocious nonsense that's going on here now. It's just ridiculous. And the world, as Israel keeps on doing that, the world's just going to keep on pushing back. The world's going to keep on pushing back. I'm telling everybody here, boycott the Olympics. People who got tickets to go to the Olympics, leave. Send a statement to these organizers. Send a statement to these people that these events, if you're going to allow somebody who committed atrocities versus other people, then I'm not going to pay no money to you. I'm not going to give you my money. Hell no. Boycott, sanction, and divest is a very important thing, the BDS movement. And we should not support anyone and anything that is a violation of human rights. Immediately, we must sanction these people. And the way to do it is not to attend, not to support. Don't give them your money. Don't give France your money, right? The government of France right now is a government that is for freeing Palestine. However, there are so many Zionists all around in different areas. You got to watch out for these people and Zionists obviously they're not only Jews. Weird as it sounds, they are also Christians. And the defilement of Christianity in the beginning of the Olympics, these Zionist Christians, how can you support that? How can you support, and everybody admits it was weird shit, okay? How can you support someone who spits on you? How can you support in Israel? How can you support someone who has been killing your people in Palestine? How can you support someone who has been mocking and deriding Christianity for the longest while, and calls Christians and calls Muslims and calls other religions, he called the Gentiles people who should serve under them and they'll be their slaves. How do you do that? They have no respect for you, just like how they have no respect for the Palestinians. That's why they're calling everybody Hamas who doesn't agree with them. That's why they're calling all of us Hamas, because they don't care about us. They'll wipe us out. They don't even care about their own people. They have something called the Hannibal Directive. They kill their own people so they wouldn't be used as leverage. And they killed out 40-something of their people who were hostages. They killed out their own soldiers. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyways, why are these vile people allowed to get an Olympic? No, the West is once again protecting Israel. The West is once again protecting Israel. From what? Why are you protecting them? They're wicked people. They're doing evil. You're supposed to be reprimanding them. You're supposed to put them in line. Otherwise, they're going to do more nonsense. They're going to, because they feel they can get away with it. They'll do anything with impunity if they feel they can get away with it. That's how the human nature is. So I'm glad this kid, he pushed back, because the rest of the world's pushing back. Now watch this, y'all. Recently there in Lebanon, there's a Israeli settlement where the Druze are. And kids were playing some football. And it was reported that one of Hezbollah's missiles hit that area, but that's a lie. It was really the Iron Dome response, a missile from the Iron Dome that came in and killed the people. And here is the sources here. Hold on a second. Let me put the audio on here. So local sources from the occupied Majid Shams confirmed that the missile that struck the stadium was one of the Iron Dome missiles from the occupation army. Israeli media, an intercepted missile may have been the cause of the incident during an attempt to intercept targets from Lebanon. So even Israeli media believes that. Galeb Saif, head of the Druze Initiative, the missiles that fall on Druze villages in the Syrian Golan and Galilee are Israeli intercepted missiles. They always cause massive damage to places and lives. Every day we see Iron Dome missiles miss their target. So, and they just have to look at the type of missile.
In a soccer field.
Now, this is what the Israeli spokesperson for the IOF, I call them, said. And mind you, this is propaganda, it's lies, and they always lie. That's the sad thing about it. But here we go.
And injured more than 20 in a soccer field in Majd al-Shams in northern Israel. Hezbollah then lied to the whole world and claimed they did not carry out this attack. This is a lie. We can confirm that Hezbollah murdered 10 children in this brutal attack and injured more than 20 were injured in this brutal attack. All were aged between 10 to 20 years old. Our thoughts are with the families of the victims.
First of all, you don't even care about the Druze. You did a raid on them recently. Secondly, the Druze live in Syria. You may claim it as your land, but it's land.
And our thoughts are also with the wounded.
Southern Lebanon.
That we embrace and hope for they to come well soon.
Now, furthermore, this liar is talking. All we have to do is inspect the missile at land. That's all we got to do. The Israelis media has already reported that it was a counter missile from the Iron Dome that hit the area. Look at his face. Look at his face as he lies. This mother. I'm not going to cuss. This guy's lying through his teeth. Just like how they lied about hitting the Al-Shifa hospital. These people are crazy, man. And now they're bombing hospitals and schools nonstop in Gaza. They just bombed a school today. Okay, Richard Midhurst, who's a good guy. He says, Mejhal Shams is in Syria, not Israel. The UN Security Council told you to leave and called your annexation null and void. 3, since when you care about dead children or about people there? You ethnically cleanse the place. Exactly. 4, no proof Hezbollah did this. Your Iron Dome has misfired in Majal Shams before, and we know that because we just read about it. So once again, the Israeli media has been telling a lot of lies, and we're just exposing those lies. So his official statement is a big fat lie as usual. This is not surprising, to be honest with you. Okay, so I want to talk about this right here. Let's get into it.
The company Stripe and Wise to financial. I need your help. Over the last couple of weeks, both the company Stripe and Wise, two financial solution internet companies, have been closing my accounts with absolutely zero valid reasons, with no access from Stripe support, and the phone hanging in my face more than 4 times by Wise. There has been no valid reason provided of why that is. It happened completely out of the blue and without warning. But we all know exactly why they're doing it and doing it right now, because they are genocide supporters, Zionist bootlickers. Now, I want you to, first of all, tag them in this comment section hundreds of times, thousands of times. Share this with your friends, share this with your comrades. I think it's important. I think if they are going after people who, because of their advocacy, it's important that all of us know what to be careful of, that if any of us are still using these companies, that we know to find a different solution and move our money elsewhere and diversify. And yeah, let's make them suffer. I think it's important. All right. Much love. Free Palestine.
Now, very important for you guys to understand as well is, hold on a second. Right. Yuval, who's speaking here, was a former Israeli army soldier who decolonized his brain or got out of the brainwashing and became a staunch supporter of Palestine. He has been punished by Zionists for his position, and he is explaining this. So what I want you guys to do, if you're on Twitter, is find my video. It's bookmarked. Look for Abir, look for Yuval, and I want you guys to post up at Wise, at what's the other one's name?
You all know exactly.
At Wise and Stripe, and tell them hashtag genocide sympathizer, boycott them. Okay, I want you guys to do that and then share it with other people, because they think they can target us. But what they don't understand is collectively we could target them. We have destroyed Starbucks. Starbucks is right now struggling. We have destroyed McDonald's. McDonald's right now is struggling. These are supporters of the soldiers in the occupied territories, as well as in Gaza right now doing the genocide. They're feeding them. We have targeted several other companies, including Blackwater, companies that support Blackwater, and we're going to keep on. Now, there's a lot of companies, including Google, particularly Google, that deals with the software. Google, the head of Google in India, 2 of these people have been supplying software to Israel, the AI technology, so that people can be sniped and killed. They have been supplying that. You have to boycott that particular section of Google, or you can stop using Google products altogether. If you can do that and find alternative sources, do so. Boycott, sanction, and divest is so successful that we've gotten the ICJ to actually, if you think about their recommendations, sanction Israel. So this is a big thing, okay? Now, let's get to the other point. Jackson Hinkle, who is also going to be forming his own party very soon, and we'll see how that is, and he may be an alternative solution again to things that are going on the ground. But until that time, that his party gets established and they really do something, Jill Stein is the one that I tell you guys right now, as an action. If you're an American, you want to see changes, you want to see the genocide stop, you want to see evacuation of the occupied territories, you want to see acceleration of Americans receiving money pumped back into America, into Americans. If you want to see the economy doing better. The homelessness that's in America and the poverty that's in America that's still there, and it's actually at the highest level. Homelessness is at its all-time high right now. And you want to see affordable housing. You want to see, free healthcare option, free education option, and so many other things. If this is what you want to see, you don't want to see the federal government controlled by corporate business and bowing down to Wall Street. If you want to see, you know, cleaner energy burning, if you want to see more power given to the individual states of the United States of America instead of centralized government, if you want to see uh, uh, Congress and the Senate moving from state to state, so that the people can get closer to Congress and not further away. If you don't like big government and how much control and power it has, right now they want the Supreme Court wants to even get it even further. They want, the president to have almost all the power. So no, all the powers being consolidated with one individual, and there's no Congress or anything. Um, if that's what you don't want to see happen, which would Donald Trump and the other guy is hinting to, if you don't want to see Donald Trump win the elections, then Jill Stein is your candidate. Kamala Harris is not going to cut it. She's not going to make it happen. Okay, the policies that they have in the Biden administration is going to stay the same. You're not going to see a free Palestine. You're not going to see ceasefire. You're not going to see the crimes against humanity that are continuously committed even up to today. You won't see that stop. You won't see humanity being better, but you will see more policing. The state will get more policed. There'll be less people being able to express their opinions. Suppression, just like what's happening in Palestine, will happen worldwide, particularly starting in America and in Europe. So if you don't want to see that happen, then Jill Stein and the Green Party is your only option right now in terms of candidates. There are a bunch of candidates out there. Some will drop out the race. I think RFK Jr. is about to drop out. So Jill Stein is probably the only other option. She actually has a real party that's been around for 20 years. In fact, a lot of the points that Democrats have run on actually have come from the Green Party. Even what Bernie Sanders be talking about, where he was trying to, he was trying to forgive student debt with federal loans, at least the federal debt for student loans and stuff like that. That came from the Green Party. The Green Party wants free education option, free healthcare option. They want to raise the minimum wage. That's an option again. Again, Biden did some of these things in his term, but not the way how the Green Party was going to do it and how they were going to fund that, how that was going to happen from a taxpaying dollars and so on, and how they would have targeted and done it really efficiently. So I say all of this to say Jill Stein comes from a party where Ralph Nader came from. Bernie Sanders was there. Cornel West was there, and it's really a great party. It's just that now is the time for it to be known because of what's happening in Gaza. And the only candidate who is looking to end this genocide, to bring peace, to end the occupation in Palestine, to work along with the ICJ, to actually not veto a ceasefire, is Jill Stein. Okay? Jill Stein and the Green Party. So if you want to really pick a party, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican that doesn't want Trump in power, this is the party to choose. Now, there are a lot of lies and rumors going around about Jill Stein that, she's in Putin's pocket. That's another very important point. She's not in Putin's pocket. And how we know that? She needs your donations. She needs your donations to keep this campaign running, to lift the funds from the different states that they're supposed to allot it to them. They have, I think, $300,000 still to collect. So until then, and she's still contesting certain areas, but until then, you guys need to, if you want to support Jill Stein through donations and so on, so she can keep on moving around the country and expanding the campaign so people will know more about her. Because the thing with Jill Stein is people don't really know about the Green Party like that, and they don't really know what the Green Party offers, but it is probably the most fantastic party out of all of them. She doesn't have the big name recognition, even though she ran in 2016. People think that because Jill Stein is running, she will take away votes from Biden and Kamala. Those votes are gone already anyway. The votes that are going to be lost from them have already been lost because of their actions when it comes to Gaza. So that's not going to be an issue. The issue is really, will the Democrats give their votes to Jill Stein instead of Kamala? This is the diehards, because we need the diehards to come across to Jill Stein. That's where your greatest chance of winning anything and keeping Trump out of power actually lies. Nobody else. Jill Stein is diametrically opposed to almost everything that Donald Trump is about to do. So, except when it comes to like strengthening the individual states, big government and the power big government has, the individual states need to have their own government. People talk about having a revolution. Jill Stein is a revolution in some degree. Of course, still people need to grow their bases and demand for what they want. And she would represent the people much better because she's not corrupted by what is happening in Washington. Excuse me. I'm coughing. I'm yawning. That's crazy. So she's your best bet. If you're an American right now and you're hearing this, your best bet is Jill Stein. I'm just gonna tell you right now, hands down. You should really pick her. It's not about the better of two evils. Evil's evil. There's no better evil. You have to pick somebody who's not corrupted by the system, and she's the one to go to. She's the go-to person. She doesn't have a record of doing corrupt things in government. She's always supported the civil rights movement. She's talking about repatriations. That's something that Mr. Ice Cube, if you're out there and you ever get this video, Mr. Cube, that's what you've been asking for the black community and a lot of black community people. Well, you'll get your reparations. You'll also, the Native Americans will also get their reparations that they're supposed to get. Jill Stein will ensure that happens. Now, people saying, well, all the 50 states will break up and you won't have a union. No, actually, it's not going to be that hard. Once you have the money allocated for that, it's not going to be that hard. No one's going to be mad at it. People get reparations all the time. The ICJ ordered reparations for the Palestinians to return to their land, etc., from Israel. So reparations is a thing you have to do. And the reparations is because of years and years, still systemic. We still have systemic racism in the system, and the fact that people inherited stuff that, set them behind the curve. They're just behind the curve because ancestrally, they've just been behind the curve. So they're trying to play catch up. So reparations will put a lot of people in the proper position to now what you do with the reparations is going to be a great question. And that's something that the black community needs to coordinate and make sure that they use those reparations in the right way to build up the community to be useful to the rest of America. Because the whole point is, if you're American, you better be useful to America. If you're a waste of time to America, then America didn't really need you. Okay, you're a drag on the economy and the people and stuff. But if you are, a hardworking citizen who wants to contribute to America and give back, then by all means, the reparations will really work in your favor. Jason Hinkle says, why is Russia banned from the Olympics, but Israel isn't? So this is why I like Jason Hinkle. There's different people. I don't always agree with their political views. I think Jason Hinkle's trying to find a reason to back Donald Trump, but I don't think that's a good idea, Jason. I think you should vote for Jill Stein. That's who I think you should vote for. I don't think you agree with everything that she does, and I don't agree with everything she does. But I can tell you she's a hell of a lot better than anything Donald Trump will do and anything that Kamala Harris will do. Donald Trump is trying to get a dictatorship going, just like what happened with Putin over there, to get longevity, to get the programs out. Kamala Harris is not about a dictatorship, but she's very fascist in this sense, and I'll explain to you. Fascist in the sense that she's allowing a genocide to happen, and she's funding it, and she's arming it, and she's not going to stop funding it, and she's not going to stop arming it. And no matter what she says, she didn't attend the conference with Netanyahu or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's about your policy. And if her policy is we fund Israel regardless, and we support Israel regardless, and we support them in allowing them to do this genocide and wipe out the Palestinians if possible, then I'm not for it. I don't care what she says. It's like Kirby. Kirby says what he says, but he's wearing that Israeli tag on him. You know what I mean? You're sold out to Israel. You're probably a Jew or something. It's the weird stuff. Look at Gaza. Gaza's leveled. Look at Kiev after 2 years of Russian bombing. It's still there because Russia didn't bomb Kiev. Okay, they didn't bomb Kiev. That's what people didn't realize. They're in another part of Ukraine. All right, but the point is, Russia's banned from the Olympics, and Israel isn't, for much worse atrocities than Russia's doing right now. It's crazy. The Iranian ministry sends off this warning. Any infringement or aggression by the Zionist regime against the national sovereignty of Lebanon will be met with a decisive and united response across the entire resistance axis. I repeat, a decisive and united response. Make no mistake. And Iran is not playing around. Okay. Now, people say Iran is funding the resistance axis. Okay. But America's funding Israel. Yeah. So how can it be a sin? How can it be wrong? You can't have it both ways. You can't say it's a crime for Iran to fund the axis of resistance, but it's not a crime for America to fund Israel. What's this, bullyism? Okay, so Iran's from the global south and you're from the global north, or you're the first world nation and Iran's supposedly the third world nation and they're supposed to be subservient to you. This is what it is? Racism? Call it out for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Jill Stein, and she is a Jew. They all don't know that, but well, she's not a Jew. She's not a Jew. Let me be real. She came from a Jewish family. She was taught Judaism, but I don't think she practices Judaism anymore. Therefore, she's not a Jew, but she comes from Jewish lineage. That's how you can call it. Okay, people who follow Judaism. Okay. All right, let's talk. Let's hear from Dr. Jill Stein. I just want to give you guys some things to consider. Okay.
That's what most of the protesters were there for. This
the presidential nominee of the Green Party. I want to put up your social media post on Netanyahu that you put out yesterday as he was speaking to Congress. We demand, you wrote, that you immediately resign as prime minister, surrender yourself to authorities. Congress may clap for war criminals, but we the people will bring you to justice. So you're condemning members of Congress for clapping for Netanyahu. Would you also condemn those protesters burning the flag that we just referenced?
I think it's rich to condemn flag burning, but not child burning. And I think that's what most of the protesters were there for, this incredible genocide. And it's not only that Congress claps for genocide, Congress funds genocide. This genocide would not be taking place without the funding of U.S., without weapons from the U.S. And in fact, at that one particular event that burned something like 45 people alive, there were U.S. weapons found there. So I think that's the issue here. And I think that's something that really deserves our undivided attention right now.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you guys something, though. I'm going to show you guys something so that you guys know where this is coming from. Because that burning of the flag, ladies and gentlemen,
Civilians have been killed in
we're gonna get to that. The UK has more balls than the US. The United Kingdom says it will arrest Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu if he enters the country. Now, that's not true. What they did was they withdrew their blocking of the ICC issuing an arrest warrant for Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. I do not know what exactly they will do. I guess I will assume that, and now I'm not too sure if they withdrew it or if they put it back, because we are hearing conflicting reports. But if they have withdrawn it, it means they are willing to listen to the ICC, and it's very possible that what the ICJ ruling that happened in The Hague, they're willing to follow that as well. So as much as Keir Starmer is a Zionist sympathizer, he also doesn't like the optics of appearing to be supporting a genocide, which is where this is heading. Okay. The ICJ said it's possible cause it to be a genocide. Now they have a second ruling, which had to do with the occupied territories and what their ruling is, which is going to the General Assembly. The ICC, Mr. Karim Khan has issued arrest warrants for the Prime Minister of Israel, the defense head of defense, Mr. Gallant, and also for 3 Hamas leaders. Okay. So, everybody's starting to tread very carefully now because it's getting really serious. Okay. all those threats from Congress, against the ICC, and Germany trying to block it and UK trying to block it. They're now realizing the ICC is very serious, and this shit has to end. And the world is right now not distracted. Like, I'm not distracted from this. This is the major topic right here, because this is based on humanity. We're gonna talk about that in more detail as well. But like I said before,
presidential nominee of the Green Party. I want to put up your
we're gonna address that flag burning thing. Keep that in the back of your mind.
The town of Abasan. Their bodies and the injured have been taken to the already overwhelmed Nasser hospital. Let's bring in our correspondent, Hani Mahmoud. He's joining us live from Deir al-Bala in central Gaza. Hani, we have been looking at frantic scenes of patients being rushed to hospitals after deadly attacks.
Yes, the past 15 minutes have been quite chaotic here at the hospital, as it just in an instant of a span of a few minutes, the scene in the hospital turned from a very quiet into, as you see, is quite chaotic right now and overcrowded. The courtyard of the hospital is overcrowded with people. People are actually rushed from the shelter that is nearby the hospital. That's an evacuation center to the western part from the hospital all the way here. And also,
okay, so basically school in I believe it's Al Mawasi area was bombed today. I think 40 something children died, and I believe 70 something or something like that people were injured. So it was real crazy. And actually I have some information on that. Oh, just to get back to Restore the Snyderverse, these are the DC comic intros for Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this is the DC comic logo here. Very innovative, very cool. Here's the second one. Let me see the second one there. This is by BVS. And this is Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was really dope. There's this big intro, and then it went into this. It was really cool. But gone are the days. I guess they don't have the money to afford that. So this is the little boy here talking about the refugee school. They didn't give him a chance to finish his meal. It fell from his hand. They killed him. A bite soaked in blood. This is the little boy here talking about the other little boy. I want you to realize this Palestinian child, look at him very carefully. This child is a white child. He's basically white. And if you look at him, he could pass for Israeli. He could pass for an Israeli child. Very easily. It's not like these people look different, which is crazy. He could possibly be from Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish genealogy. In other words, what I'm saying is there were formerly Jewish people who became Muslims and lived in Palestine. This is the story that a lot of people don't know. That child looks like he's an Israeli. He could have an Israeli father that lives in Israel. This is the fucking craziness of this shit. Let me just say this. Lex Luthor said God is tribal. God is on the side of depends on what tribe you are. God's on your side. This is some bullshit. Like, Israelis are killing out people that are actually related to them. That's what's fucked up about this whole thing. You just happen to be born in Palestine, even though your parents may have been Jews that converted to Islam or converted to Christianity, okay? Maybe they were once Jews. And just because of that shit, your ass is getting bumped. You're being seen as if you're subhuman, as if you're a terrorist or something. Isn't that some crazy ass shit? We have Palestinian Christians, we have Palestinian Muslims, and we have people who converted to those things that live in Palestine. We have Americans that live in Palestine. Americans, like, they have the American citizenship, and they're in Palestine as well. That's how crazy it is. We have professors and we have all kinds of people. It's just crazy how dehumanizing someone and using that as a rationale to kill them. It's so crazy. You have to literally detach your mind from humanity and caring to do that. And that's what's so scary about these Zionists. These Zionists don't give a fuck about humanity. They don't care about you. That's what Michael Jackson been telling you. It's scary, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's scary. All right. So this little boy, he was talking about that other little boy that loses his life. This is the 30 people that's killed in an Israeli strike on the school housing civilians in Gaza. As usually, the Israeli military said it was attacking Hamas. That's bullshit. I don't know. There was no Hamas there. No Hamas whatsoever. But Kenneth Roth got the wrong article though. This is the Druze in Syria, which Israel claims as their area, where Iron Dome rocket actually hit that area. This is the school I was telling you about, and that's the little boy that we saw, and this was the strike here. I got one more thing to talk about with Zack Snyder. I got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to this. People are talking about boycotting. The boycotting has been working. The Human Rights Council said that Israel's authorities are responsible for war crimes, extermination, murder, using starvation. It was never defense. It was always genocide. Starmer and Biden partnered with a monster, and Netanyahu all are guilty. All right. So this is the UN Human Rights Council. They came to that conclusion. That's what informed also the International Court of Justice, and it will also inform the International Criminal Court. So that's huge. And this is the little child. Oh my God! And these are the people injured and dying. It's very, very, very horrible to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. Another thing that happened. There's so many things that happened, but I'm just trying to get you guys updated. This is, of course, a big. George Latimer is the guy that replaced Jamal Bowen, and he has $3 million in APAC money. Okay, let's just get to one more thing. Let's all look for Survivor and listen what he has.
The way that the Israeli government, I say this as a Holocaust survivor, that the genocide in Gaza is not happening in my name and in our name. The way that the Israeli government is using the memory of the Holocaust in order to justify what they are doing to the Gazans is a complete insult to the memory of the Holocaust. It's an outrage. When I saw the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations putting on a yellow star, or stomach turning, somebody who had to wear a yellow star like myself and my entire family, I'm insulted by that. What distinguishes the Jewish Holocaust is its industrial scale and industrial methods being applied. And what has been happening to Gaza is similar in that the scale of the bombing and the indiscriminate nature of the bombing, the complete lack of care about children and women being the majority of the victims, amounts to industrial scale of genocide. The painting of the Palestinian people as worthless, almost animal-like by the description of some of the leaders. That dehumanization enables the population of Israel to tolerate what's going on. The way that Palestinian people who were arrested were treated, having to take their clothes off and parading them, it's part of the humiliation. In the West Bank, the way the checkpoints are organized, the way that you are forced to wait for hours for no reason in order to go to school or to work, etc. All this amounted to humiliation, similar to what we experienced. The sort of determination and consistency with which they are setting about to destroy the whole of Gaza is very similar to the kind of cruelty and determination of the fascist regimes, some of the actions of the Nazi state in demonizing and completely cruel large-scale killings, etc. If it is repeated, I don't see why you couldn't make the parallel. It can only be helpful in understanding what's going on to make the parallel. I don't think there should be any taboo against that. I think I particularly find painful to see the children. Because I remember after the war, we played in the ruins like they do now. But particularly their losses, to suddenly lose parents and siblings and so on. There was a boy in the same rescue homes where I was. He was traveling on a tram with his parents. This boy moved to the front to stand behind the tram driver because he was interested in how he was working the levers and so on. At the next stop, an Arrow Cross raiding party came on and asked for papers. And the parents were identified as Jews and arrested straight away. The son was separated at the front, and they had to make an immediate decision whether to say something to him and involve him or let him perhaps escape the net. And that's what they decided. So they were taken down from the tram and sent to Auschwitz. They never said goodbye to their son, and they perished in Auschwitz. So that was the end of the family. Now, can you imagine the psychological state of that boy who suddenly found himself on his own in this way, not saying goodbye to his parents? And I think this kind of thing, this separation, and the sense of complete inability to intervene or in any way exert any kind of positive influence on events, this kind of separation and destruction of families in this manner is again something that repeats in Gaza now, I think. I heard that some families divide the children and leave some with one branch and some with the other, so that at least somebody should survive from the family. There's an echo of the same experience. What happened to the Jewish people, the gas chambers and the industrial scale of extermination, and also the sort of invisible aspects, the incredible emotional pain caused, is so horrendous taken together that it seems to me inconceivable that it should be repeated anywhere in the world. That is why we say not in our name and never again. And this is why I was so totally shocked, particularly by those who I know have gone through the same themselves, repeating it on another people. I take as an extreme example one of my cousins, a late cousin, she died some years ago, who was a young girl taken to Auschwitz from Transylvania. Because she was young and strong, she was put to work, and she worked in a warehouse sorting clothes. And one day, she was sorting her parents' clothes, meaning that they had already been taken to the gas chamber. I think it's difficult to understand the emotional experience of doing or being in that situation. Yet she came back to Israel, and first to Romania and then Israel, and she was as racist as the rest of them against the Palestinians. Now, how it's beyond understanding how you can do that, and with the background that she had. I think this is to do with the extreme propaganda and the dehumanization. Zionism was a very unfortunate and sad development for the Jewish people. It took a much longer tradition of always being on the side of the oppressed, not the oppressor, and the charitable nature of the Judaism and the humanity that they advocate, into a kind of exceptionalism and nationalism.
Everything is the Jews, not a single piece for other people, only for us.
And in practical terms, impossible project of taking over another people's country, which led to all the troubles that followed. Also, I agree with my cousin, late cousin, a very bright guy, who said, well, if we claim that there is a people who tend to be the victims of other people's discrimination, etc., then the last thing you want to do is to collect them up into one place as a target. And I think he was right, and I think current events prove it. Zionism started to proclaim that the only safe place for Jews is in Israel, and what we are seeing today is the worst, the most dangerous place for Jews is Israel. quite a number of my family from Romania ended up in Israel. So when I visited them, that was my first brush with Zionism. I was completely shocked how, despite their experiences during the Holocaust, they were racist, basically, against the Palestinians. I couldn't understand it, and I can't understand it to this day fully, how that could happen. But they were. There's no denying it. And I found that atmosphere of racism was prevailing generally in Israel. And I turned strongly against that. Later on, I saw the repeated brutality of action against Palestinians, and it became more and more horrifying. And the very cruel attack on Gaza was the ultimate. And the use of the Holocaust background as a cover for all this was just unbearable. I mean, it was criminal, I felt. And this is when I became more active in trying to protest. Today's marches are having a very hopeful aspect. It is so large, so persistent, so global, that eventually the Western leadership, which are trying to deny what is actually going on, will be forced to face up to it. And I think we are not far from that. There was no parallel to that in the Jewish Holocaust experience. In fact, there was great abandonment. There were some, very few, very brave people who risked everything to be on the right side of history and to rescue as much as possible. But the majority of people were too afraid and looked the other way. I find it completely incomprehensible, really, how you can do anything but totally condemn quite clear genocide. And anybody who doesn't do that, it will be revisited on him or her to look back on, to be on the wrong side of history and seriously guilty. And that goes for the UK government, to Keir Starmer and the shadow cabinet. And some of the church leaders, the chief rabbi, completely identifies with Israel and Zionism. I think it's important to stand up against this conflation that is propagated between Jewishness and Zionism. If you do not stand up and criticize it and divorce yourself from it, then it sort of besmirches all Jews, basically. And I think it's essential to show that from a point of view of the morale of the people. Thrives on indifference and the general public being intimidated or looking the other way out of self-preservation and comfort. And it's essential that is not.
So I have to wrap up right here. Free Palestine. You guys have a good one. I have to get a phone call. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Judge